Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And today my hands are empty because I'm going to compile the channel's first top 10 list. I just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you each and every one of you for making that happen. I've been teasing in my comments for a little while, but I thought a top 10 list was appropriate given that milestone. Now this list is in no particular order. I'm going to highlight what I think are the best flavors of the major instant noodle categories that are easily obtainable in the United States. These are varieties that blew me away when I tried them and that I keep stocked regularly in my pantry for when I am not filming reviews. I will make a couple honorable mentions here and there too, just in case you can't find some of these where you live. But before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to help me out. I love doing these reviews. I hope to do more lists in the future. Your support means the world to me. So here we go with the Noodle Journey Top 10 for 2024. Up first is Nongshim Shin Black. Honestly, any of the Shin flavors I've reviewed could have been on this list, but Shin Black is just the most perfect introduction to spicy Korean ramyun that there is. It's available just about everywhere now, and for the price you get a savory, rich, medium spiced beef broth that will probably change your world if you've never had it. Shin Black changed my world the first time I tried it, and it's one of the main reasons I started exploring other instant noodle varieties. It's not a perfect 10 score. The Korean version tastes better than the American version and is harder to find, but it's something I keep coming back to because it's a super tasty base. You can throw so many different things into this and it comes out as a great meal. If you're vegan, but you still want the comfort of a premium Shin flavor, you should give Shin Green a try instead. It's also incredibly good. Next up we have my top pick for a Japanese tonkotsu broth. This is Marutai Kumamoto Black Garlic Oil Tonkotsu. Marutai is my favorite brand of noodles, period. I can make a top 10 list containing nothing but Marutai and still not cover all of their exceptional flavors. One of the things Marutai does best is their stick ramen tonkotsu varieties. And while I do think that their collaboration with Ikosha is the tastiest of all the tonkotsu, it's also very expensive. This Kumamoto tonkotsu is the perfect balance of flavor, price, and availability. With this variety, you get a rich and decadent pork bone broth mixed with the punchiest punch of black garlic oil. I'm a fiend for garlic, and this one doesn't disappoint. If you'd rather have something less garlicky, choose any of Marutai's other tonkotsu varieties, and I think you'll be pretty happy. And if you're vegan but still want some great tonkotsu, check out Itsuki's Hakata Tonkotsu Ramen, and you'll be amazed that it's animal-free. Next is Ramen Talk with their Taiwanese braised beef. Ramen Talk is a brand that I love to recommend whenever I can, because not a lot of people know about them, but they should, because this is a company that gives you everything you need for a complete meal, including meat and all the toppings pictured on the pack. When I reviewed all of Ramen Talk's flavors, I found all but one of them to be excellent, and I think their Taiwanese-style braised beef noodle is the best out of all of them. The flavor on this is as good as I've had in restaurants, and while it is somewhat expensive for a single serving, you get some premium quality noodles and some nice chunks of beef and beef tendon and a bunch of other toppings. Go to their website and order some of their noodles as a treat. You won't be sorry. Up next is Maruchan Gold Soy Sauce. This could honestly have been a toss-up between Maruchan Gold and Nissan Rao for my favorite soy sauce ramen, because the flavors are pretty similar, but I gave the slight edge to Maruchan in my review. Before I tried this flavor, I was convinced that a shoyu, or soy sauce broth, was boring, and boy was I wrong. There was a lot of umami flavor in this and a rich, compelling broth consistency. It's a fantastic base for proteins and vegetables, and I keep this on hand for every time I want an umami bomb of flavor for a quick meal. Their spicy miso flavor is no slouch either if you want a different umami experience. At the midway point of the list, we have Mom's Dry Noodle Dan Dan Noodles. If you've never tried Dan Dan noodles or had the pleasure of the amazing mouthfeel of Taiwanese noodles in general, you're missing out. I stock up on these whenever I can because the flavor is amazing. They may look simple, but they pack an incredibly complex flavor, mixing soy sauce, chili oil, garlic, Sichuan peppercorn, and sesame paste into this wonderful concoction that engages all of your taste buds. And the noodles themselves are phenomenal too, with an air-dried texture that rivals anything you get from Asha or Momofuku. If you spot this at an Asian market, just buy it. Next we have Myojo's Ippei-chan Yakisoba with mustard mayonnaise. I wasn't completely introduced to yakisoba before starting this channel, having only had it in a restaurant like one time, but this is one of my favorite things now since I reviewed it. The combination of the terrifically chewy noodles with a generous amount of vegetables and a delicious sauce was already enough to give this a perfect 10 score. But then Myojo took the extra step of including a zesty mayonnaise packet with this that sends the flavor to a whole other level of amazing. This yakisoba is a creamy, tangy delight, and I keep a pile of these in my pantry at all times. If you have trouble finding this one because it is a Japanese import, you can get a similarly delicious experience if you buy Sapporo Ichiban's chow mein flavor and a bottle of Kewpie mayonnaise. The Japanese one, not the American one. In the next spot, we have Prima Taste Singapore Curry Ramyeon. If I'm being honest, I could have just as easily put Prima Taste's Laksa Ramyeon here, but personally I find the Singapore curry spiciness gives it a slight edge for my taste buds. This is by far my favorite curry product I've tried so far, packing a terrific spice, a thick, flavorful broth, and some of the best noodles you'll ever eat. If spice bothers you, try the laksa instead, but I promise that if you love curry, you won't be disappointed in either one. Up next is Samyang Buldak Cream Carbonara. Yeah, I know it's kind of cool to hate on Buldak nowadays since it has taken over Asian grocery stores everywhere, and also every ramen-related subreddit, but there is a reason for that. Buldak products taste good. Samyang has perfected the marrying of interesting flavors with a super spicy finish. And while we could endlessly debate which one we all think is the best or whether or not the spice level is too gimmicky, this is the one that does it for me more than the other varieties, and it's the one I recommend most to anyone who finds the original flavor too plain or too spicy. The spice level in cream carbonara is much more comfortable than most other Buldak varieties. The noodles are thick and satisfying, but most of all I love the sauce on this. It's my perfect balance of creamy, sweet, spicy, and savory, and it is the only Buldak flavor that I buy regularly aside from Jampong, even though I did favorably review most of the other ones. Speaking of Jampong, as an honorable mention here, you should try the Jampong flavor if you can find it. It's absolutely wonderful and is a total departure from the Buldak stir-fry flavors. I would be remiss and lose most of my street cred if I forgot this next entry, Indomie Mi Goreng. This is one of the most popular instant noodle products in the world, and it's easy to see why once you try it. For a ridiculously low price, you get this snack-sized flavor explosion of saucy noodles. The noodles are thin but sturdy, the sauce engages every one of your taste buds, and you can customize the flavor to your liking because all the pouches are separate. I can't keep these in my pantry for long because my wife and I devour Mi Goreng every time we buy them. If you've never had it before, try a pack, you'll love it. And finally, we have Nissin Cup Noodles Black Pepper Crab. So yeah, for the sake of variety, I wanted to add a cup noodle flavor to this list, and it had to be this one. I've said many times that while I don't find the noodles in cup noodles to be overly impressive, they provide a vehicle for the other flavors and ingredients to get into your mouth. The right combination of flavor and ingredients can elevate those mediocre noodles to something more. And this is absolutely the right combination of flavors and ingredients because I love this variety. The broth is punchy and flavorful, and the included chunks of crab and vegetables are excellent. And as a bonus, if you're a fan of ramen-based products, this pairs perfectly well with their seafood and veggie mix. I should also shout out to Cup Noodle Seafood and Cup Noodle Curry as well, which are the other two flavors that made me take notice of cup noodles within the last couple years. I never thought I'd be enthusiastic about cup noodles, but I'm looking forward to trying more new ones in the future because of how much I love this black pepper crab variety. So there you go, that wraps up the first ever Noodle Journey Top 10 list. Obviously there's a whole world of excellent instant noodles out there, including some other 9s and 10s that I've reviewed that didn't quite make the cut. But for me, everything I just talked about is best in class, and they're flavors that I would recommend to anyone who wants to explore the world of instant noodles, either for the first time or as a seasoned noodle veteran. Do you agree with my picks? What would you put on your own personal list? Leave me some comments and let me know. I'll also be back with the bottom 5 list soon, so I hope you'll check that out when it gets published. If you're not a subscriber yet, please become one. I do reviews once a week, sometimes twice, and I get into some detail about each and every flavor so that you can make an informed decision about your instant noodle purchases. Hopefully you'll join me on another episode of Noodle Journey.